Hello everyone, thanks for watching. I'm not in my wee zen room today, I'm down at Les Oman's house. The Bovril Beelzebub himself has invited me down to because I'm on holiday in Kintyre, and this was my date for doing it, and being a man of my word, I made sure I could. So I've come down from Carradale down to Les's house to perform for you tonight, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. And Les is here keeping an eye on this beautiful guitar of his. It's a Simon Patrick, and it's absolutely wonderful to play. It might not come across like that, of course, tonight, but it's magnificent. It's just a glorious thing. And Les is going to accompany me on one or two of the songs on French horn. Here's one called Mary. And again, if guitar's too loud, if the voice isn't coming across, would you put something on comments, because I can see it, because I'm deaf to the world. Thank you. Get off that fruit machine, sit here by my side. Can you remember blue horizons, white horses on the tide? Yeah. With creases in your dress, seagrass in your hair. In the smoke-filled room, there's nothing for us here. Yeah, Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. It's time to get out. It's time to go home. Here in this battleship, this grey-hard atmosphere, you're colder now, how petty life can be. Yeah. I remember every promise that we left down by the sea. Kishmir kisses, melting songs out for the seals. Yeah, yeah. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. It's time to get out. It's time to go home. I don't wanna hate this baby by my side. Silent grievances reflected in your eyes, in your eyes. See blue flash, and I can read what's in your mind. Are you here again? Will you come with me outside? Yeah. Stay with me a while, I'll stay with you until you're free. See the sea again, how happy just to be there. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. It's time to get out. It's time to go home. Mary, to go home. Mary, it's time to go home. Mary, Thank you. That's Mary, a song I used to sing with the Hugh Trousers band, which is a great band. It's the band that I got to know. Les on my left here, the Bovril Beelzebub again. I don't even know why he's called that. It was Dave Fee that was telling me that was his name. But I met Les through inviting us down to a gig in Carradale or Campbellton. I think it was Carradale. And I can't remember why, but I got on like a house and fire with Les because it's so lovely. And we took the band down to play the gig, and within that band was the most marvellous musician I have ever encountered, the most unique, wonderful, talented person with the most vibrant, beautiful and lovely personality, and that was George Footer. And George unfortunately passed away last week, and passed away very, very gently, and leaves behind his grieving wife Debbie and all of his pals. And George was one of the most wonderful, I've said it already, haven't I, to repeat myself, but he was the most magnificent person, an absolute musical genius that lifted a room with his guitar playing, but also guitar playing, fiddling, but lifted a room just by his presence as well. He had an aura that was absolutely sparkling, and I miss him something rotten. So I'm singing tonight songs from the Hugh Trousers band, and I'm remembering George as I play them. So if I'm choking up and what have you, then it's absolutely genuine. So I'm going to play his particular favourite, and this was the one when myself and Ian were putting the album together, and Joe and Andy on the drums, and we'd encountered another wonderful man called Stevie Gillis that I'm awfully fond of. And I'd asked Stevie if he knew of a fiddler to put a bit of fiddling over a particular song, and this song I'm about to play. And he says, I know not just a fiddler, I know the fiddler. So he introduced us, well, he didn't, he sent it off to George, because George was quite fussy who he works with. And he sent off the songs to George, and George says, love it, I'll do that, no problem at all. Came in, recorded first take, just with the most absolute wizardry, and refused to take any money for it whatsoever. He says, I love it, here to help. And within a fortnight, I'd managed to convince him to join the band as well, and again by the threat of violence, I think it was ultimately that worked to get him in. And George stayed with us through absolutely thick and thin, playing some wonderful stuff and getting on the telly and all that kind of stuff that we did back in the era of the Hugh Trousers band. So anyway, this was the first song, and this is a song called Eusebio, and it's Eusebio. Eusebio was a footballer back in the 60s, and again the most wonderful talent. He was my dad's favourite footballer, and I wrote this song in my dream, and I woke up with the whole song completely in my head in the morning. Eusebio, including the lyrics, everything. So it was either plagiarism or a stroke of genius. So I'll go for the genius. Eusebio, let us find the gentleman kind, Eusebio. Dance in the spot, a peach of a shot, Eusebio. Cut from the wing and shot like a king, Eusebio. Standing there, one hand in the air, Eusebio. The black pearl is handsome as El Magico. Waltz around the whole of the ground, fantastico. Benfica man with the world in his hand, galactico. Panther mantra now and ever after, with one hand in the air. 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 was a big guy that made him 2 sides elastico. On all night, the arena of life, fantastico. African man, the Portuguese land, galactico. Panther mantra now and ever after, with one hand in the air. 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 Eusebio, magnificent song. And again, without George Footer playing it, it's just not the same. And George would go mental on that if we'd given the platform to do so. And I remember, let's correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Carradale or Campbelltown was the sensational, Carradale was the sensational night, of which that song, which is just a basic, simple song of verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Well, I think it was a middle eight and a guitar. And a quick break for the caster, which obviously George wouldn't have been happy about, but it was a quick break for the caster. And then we just carried on like a rhythm section out of a funk band. We just sat and just played on, and I think we played the first, so we're going boom, and then George Footer just went mental. And again, the song, I think on the album it was about 3.5 minutes, and our usual live tape we would extend to about 6 minutes. And I think it must have been approaching half an hour. I will be exaggerating because it's what I do, but 20 minutes, 25 minutes of George Footer being Jimi Hendrix on the fiddle. And it is the most astonishing thing. And I think it's the one song of the night that didn't get recorded. And it goes down as Carradale legacy, Carradale folklore. And it was mobbed, it was folk, the place was jumping, the acoustics were fantastic, everyone was half pissed, so therefore bouncing about, and we had a mosh pit jumping about at the front. The days before mosh pits were even invented, and there was a mosh pit at the front. It was just magnificent, just a wonderful memory just created by the genius of George Footer. So I'm going to play another Hugh Trousers Band song, and it's a song called Slow Down. I hated Slow Down, and it's poppy, it's just throwaway nonsense, and I didn't like it. But it was designed to be come out as a single, I think, from the album. I don't think it ever did, but I'm a kind of huffy guy at the best of the times. I don't know, I come across as a cheery, debonair type guy, handsome, but quite huffy at times. And again, as you go through learning curves with bands, because you're the front man's a really, really difficult thing. You think it's easy, but it's not. I mean, you've got to carry the audience. You channel the audience through back to the band, and you channel the band through to the audience. So you're this kind of bottlenecking conduit, and it's a very, very tricky job to do. So you cannot help but build ego with it, and you think you're far more important than you are. But I didn't like the song. I get sick of it really, really quickly. I get sick of a lot of the stuff really, really quickly, but this one in particular, and I swore to myself I'm never playing this again. And then George Footer took me aside, and he said to me, this song is one of the audience favourites. It's a heap of, I won't swear on Dave Fee's telly, but it's a heap of pants, it says, but the punters like it. And again, there's George teaching me another life lesson. It's another true story. I need to put in some lies later on, because there's far too many true stories coming out here, and this is rock and roll. So this is a song called Slow Down. It is awful, and I apologise. Dave has said the guitar's still too loud, Les, so I'm going to just go for it and turn it down a wee smidgen again. And it annoys Les when I twiddle his knob. It's another £15. Wandering on a woody sunny morning, she had that telltale look in her eye. She stopped and pushed me in the springy grassy clearing. A hand went on her hip and then she said, what about a little stalling on this crazy march this morning? I had a bit too much walking and I know what I want instead. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. You're feasting in a public room, believing the breath was far from critical for life. She stopped and kissed me, in the sense of warm and crispy. In a cheese-and moment, she said, squeeze up to me, digger, and I want you to deliver. Sick and tired of cutting about the chase. Slow down, it's too fast, I want it to last all night. Slow down, it's too fast, I want it to last all night. You were lying on the couch inside the front room. I felt your exhalation on my neck. Time followed shortly, exploded into action. I wrenched myself up and then I said, gotta get you upstairs, yeah, I gotta see you right now. Gotta ease this desperate heat in my head. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. Slow down, it's too fast, and I want it to last all night. Yes. I told you it was a rotten song. Never liked it. Just did it to make a fortune that never materialised. But again, the old Gio throwing his magic dust on it, it sounded fantastic. Not necessarily tonight, but it did sound fantastic when we used to play it. So, well, I've got to read out some comments, I think, and I'll need to bend round to see them. And there's Rosie Nimmo. Hello, Rosie. Hiya, Davey. Hello, Hen. How you doing? Great song, David. Thanks from Sandra. Well, thank you, Sandra. Usually you're quite judgmental, but that's actually quite pleasant for you, you nasty old cow. And David Patterson, that's my sister-in-law in case you think I'm taking the piss. David Patterson, brilliant song. Oh, Davey, how you doing? Caroline McCallum, who is my wife, would you believe? One hand in the air, she's cracking. Sounds great, says Rosie. Steve Byrne, hello Steve. Why do people phone at 8 PM? I will catch the start later. There you go. Superb. Let me go and sing the last song then. This is another epic that I don't think we ever played it live. This was for the second album that never came off because of rock and roll, and we just either fell out with each other or just blew up, because that's what happens. But this was going to be in the second album. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not in the album. But it was in the process, and again, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my conceited self again, because me and Ian had put down the guitar. We just put down a kind of drum beat down and put down the guitar for this song, and George came up to do some stuff, and I wasn't that happy with it. I don't think it was his best stuff, and I thought, so I'd put a text back, or a telex or what it had been back then, back saying, oh, George's not happy with that. It's, can you mind? I probably didn't even say, do you mind? Said, can you do it again? Because it's just not what I was looking for. And George and Ian were raging because it took them about a few hours to get everything and put that together. And again, what it was unedited, in case they hadn't touched it at all. So therefore, I was just hearing this racket coming across, and but they were so excited by what they'd done, they sent it across anyway. And I thought, that is just so nasty, and I felt awful. But again, in true Footer fashion, he never let me forget it and drove it home. I just loved the man to bits. So this is a song called The Long Grey Snake, and Craig, Stuart, if you're here, this was for you. Tell me somebody comment, tell me if that guitar's coming through. It'd be a lot quieter. Les, you confident? It's kind of... Ride the back of the long grey snake through the city and countryside both. Ride on your bones to the sound of the wind rushing by you at 90 odd. Glance at the farmhouse, glance in the mirror, glance at the bull in the field. You could be sitting on your armchair, you could be sitting on your couch. Your only danger, a heart attack meal. I feel it in my pulse and my soul. Geronimo the child cries as he tumbles on down through the winds and the nettles and grass. Hudson Verity screams as his legs turn to rubber. He falls on the rug with a picnic smash. I feel it in my pulse and my soul. I will raid, and I will raid, and I will raid. Snake. But a cut and a bruise is the least you can handle when you're flying along at full tilt. There's one bed of metal with a shelf life of shit. Explodes like a terrorist belt. I feel it in my pulse and my soul. I will raid, and I will raid, and I will raid, and I will raid, and I will drive, and I will drive, and I will die on the back of the long grey snake. back of a laundry sneak. The back of a laundry sneak. The back of a laundry sneak. Yeah, 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 the beauty of the sound of Patrick guitar rings out was I've got to thank Les Oman for. He's a wonderful guy and a wonderful friend with a wonderful guitar and an even better one over there that I've got my eyes on. And being a kleptomaniac, I'm going to invite him to step out. Another cup of tea, please, Lance, and then just bugle him. So that's me finished, and a wonderful guitar, wonderful sustain, and tomorrow is the magnificent Dave Fee, so I hope we can all tune in for that. But as Andy McLeod, was it, would have said, goodbye.